Hi, this is Sunny Solanki and you're tuned to Coders Column. This is the fourth video of our course on ipywidgets where I will be discussing widget events. A widget event is a change in a state of a widget which can be change in a drop-down value, change in a slider value, button click, checkbox selection, and so on. In this video, I will explain you how we can capture those events and perform necessary actions like executing a callback. Without further delay, let's get started. Alright, so as you can see on my screen, I already have a Jupyter notebook open, and at the beginning of the notebook, I have highlighted important sections specifying the topics that we will be covering. So let's get started with the coding part. And keep in mind that you need to install ipywidgets in order to follow along with me in this tutorial. So first of all, I have imported ipywidgets as a widgets and then printed the current version. So this is the version which is installed on my system, and this is the latest and stable version which I will be using in this tutorial. Right, so let's get started with a simple example. So first of all, I have created a simple slider, integer slider, and the name of the slider is param1, and it starts from 0 to 10 and default value is 5. So now in order to link a callback with this widget, so the widget event in the case of this slider will be change in this slider value. Every time we change a slider value, we want to perform some action. So in order to do that, we need to call this function name observe on our widget, and then we need to provide a callback or function which should be executed when we change the value of this widget, which is a drop down, a slider in this case. And names is a list or a single string, so we specify which attribute we want to monitor. So in this case, this slider value is represented by value attribute, so that's what we want to monitor. And then callback is a function, so any function which we want to execute, and it takes a single parameter change. So generally when the value changes of this widget, a dictionary is provided over here. So let me execute this line of code. So now I have linked this callback with this widget. So when I change the value, it will show me what this callback is getting from this widget event. So let me change it. So as you can see, as I change from 5 to 6, this change function got this dictionary. So this dictionary is name is a value. So this value change we got, and the old value was 5, new value was 6. Owner is the slider and type is change, so change event we got. So that's how you can link any callback. So now if you want to perform some action when the widget value change, so in this case the slider value change from 5 to 6, so you can go ahead and perform some action. So that's the one example. Over here in the next cell, I have again used the same callback, but this time for names I have given two values. So one is value of that widget and another is minimum. So minimum is another attribute which we can monitor. Let me execute this line of code. Now if I change this, so let me change it to 6 to 7. So now as you can see, I got a value change over here. So that's a value change. But let's say that minimum value starts from 0. And if I change it to -5, then I get event for that one as well. So as you can see, value is min this time, and the old value was 0 and new value is -5, and we are getting this because we are monitoring min as well. So whenever there is a change in min value, then also we can trigger this callback. Right, so let's move on to next example. So in this example, I have created two widgets. So first widget is integer slider like earlier, and second is a label. So the default value is the value of slider is, and then I have defined a callback, and this callback changes the value of this label with whatever is the new value of that slider. Okay, and then I have linked w1.observe function I have called, and I have linked this w1.callback, and we are monitoring value. So every time there is a change in a slider value, this label will be updated. So let me show you. Alright, so currently this is the default setting. This is the slider and this is the label. Now let me change this. So as I change to 6, the value of the slider is 6, so it's getting printed. 7, 8, whatever value I change, that's getting printed below. So that's how you can call back. You can link callback with widget, and you can also change the value of other widgets based on that. So that's one example. So here is a one more example. So what I am doing over here is that in this example I have used int text box, and the settings are almost same like earlier. So in this case we are setting the value of this text box based on a slider. So let me execute this line of code. As you can see, default value is 2, but as soon as I will change the value, as soon as I change it to 6, its value get changed to 6 as well. Yeah, so that's how you can link a slider with text box as well. Right, so let's move on to next example. Now this example is again almost same as our previous example. So I have two widgets. One is a slider and one is a text box. And this time I have created two callbacks. The first callback is for a slider. So when slider value change, this callback is executed w1 callback, and it changes the value of int text. And second callback is for a text box. So when the value of text box changes, it updates the value of the slider as well. So this is two-way link that I have created over here. So let me show you how it works. As you can see, we have a slider and then text box. So let me change the value of the slider. So as I change the value of the slider, it's changing the value of this text box. Now let me change the value of text box. So as I change the value of text box, value of the slider is getting updated as well. So this way, using events and callbacks, I created two-way link between two widgets. So that's what you can do as well. Right, so let's move on to our next example. So in this example, what I have done over here is that I have created two float sliders, which are M and C. And over here, I have a callback which creates a matplotlib chart based on the value of M and C, two float sliders. So I'm simply creating a line formula mx plus c. So x is a 100 numbers and y is calculated based on the value m star x plus c. So then I have link called observe and link this callback with these widgets. So let me execute this and show you how it looks. Alright, so now currently the chart is not displayed, but as soon as I change the value of this widget, the chart will be displayed, as you can see. And as I change the value, the chart gets updated as well. Right. So, and over here to capture chart, I have used output widgets. So if you are not aware of output widget is used to capture the output of a function, which can be any text or chart or image or so on. I have a separate tutorial on it. If you are interested, please feel free to check it. Alright, so let's move on to next section. So in this section, I have explained how you can link multiple callbacks with a single widget. So till now we have linked only one callback with our widget, but we can link multiple callbacks. So over here I have created a slider, and then there is a text box, and then there is a label, and then I have created two callbacks. So first callback based on a value of a slider updates the value of text box, and second callback updates the value of a label based on a value of a slider. And then I have called observe function and link both the callback with the slider widget. So let me execute this. Now as you can see, you see two widgets only. So let me change the value. So as soon as I change the value of slider 6, this text box value got updated with 6, and the value of the slider is also got updated. So as you can see, if I change the value to 7, 8, the value of two below widgets, which is text box and this label, is getting updated. So yeah, you can link multiple callbacks with one widget as well if you are interested in that one. Right, so let's move on to next section. So in this section, I have explained how you can use button events. So first of all, I have created a button, simple button, and in case of button, there is a callback name onClick, which we can call. OnClick is a function which we can call and give it a callback. So what I have done in this callback is that if button dot description is click me, then I change it to clicked. Otherwise, if it is clicked, then it will be changed to click me. And we change the button style, which is a style of the button as well. So if button dot description is click me, then the style will be success, else it will be danger. So let me execute this line of code. As you can see, this is the default, but as soon as I click on it, as you can see, the text is changed to click and the button style is changed to danger. Let me click it again. As you can see, now text is changed to click me and button style is success, which is green. So yeah, you can use a button event like this as well. Right, so let's move on to next section. All right, so in this section, I have created a few more examples explaining how to handle widget events for different widgets. So these are the simple example which I will explain you fast. So the first one is related to checkbox. So I created these examples in this section to specifically show you what kind of data is getting returned by various widgets. So in this first example, I have created a checkbox, say, and its value is save model, and then there is a label, and the callback is linked to checkbox. So when the value of a checkbox changes, so when you select or unselect, this callback will be executed. And what it does is that it sets the value of this label with the value of this checkbox. So let me execute it. So now as you can see, currently only checkbox is displayed. So let me select it, and it says the value of checkbox is true. So let me unselect it. So whatever is the value of checkbox, you can see it on this label. So yeah, that's a checkbox. Let's move on to next example, which is on toggle button. So toggle button works almost like a checkbox only. So let me show you. If you're interested in using toggle button instead of checkbox, you can do that as well. Let me click over here. As you can see, the value of toggle button is true because it's selected. If I unselect it, it will be false. Another useful widgets available from ipywidgets is a toggle buttons. So it's like radio buttons. Currently the red is selected, and let me change the value to green, and as you can see, the value of toggle buttons is green. So you can select any toggle buttons, so blue, yellow, green. So it's like radio buttons only, but if you like to use toggle buttons instead of radio buttons, then you can use it as well. All right, so let's move to next example, which is based on color picker. So I will be displaying the value of color picker. So whatever color is selected will be displayed in the label. So let me execute it. And currently let me select the red color from here. And as you can see, the value of color picker is this. So this hash code is written, whatever value is selected. If I select something over here, the value will be changed. Yeah, so that's a color picker. If you're interested in using color picker, then you can use it as well. Right, so let's move to next example, which is on date picker object. So let me execute it. So let me select some dates. Yeah, and as you can see, it's displaying value of date, whichever date I selected. And as you can see, I displayed type as well. So type is date time dot date if you're interested. So in change of new is date time dot date object. All right, so let's move to next section. So in this section, I have used a time picker widget and linked it with a label. Right, so let me execute it. So currently there is no time selected. So let me select it, 12:32. All right, so the value of time picker is 12:32, and this is date time dot time object. The change of new is date time dot time object. So this can be useful when you want to select time widget. All right, so let's move to next section. So this is the password widget if you're interested in using passwords. And right, so let me execute it. So currently nothing is getting displayed. So let me write ABCD, and as you can see, because it's a password widget, it's displaying dots over there, and it's not displaying actual password. So this widget can be useful as well when you want to take password from user. All right, so let's move to next. So next is a integer range slider, and in case of integer range slider, the value will be tuple of two values specifying the range. So let me execute it, and currently as you can see, the range is 2 to 5. So let me change it. So as I selected range -1 to 5, the value of int range slider is -1 to 5, which is getting displayed in the label. Okay, so let me explain you multi-select. So if you want to use multi-select, then the widget name is select multiple. Right, select and execute it. And currently, as you can see, as index is 0 and 2, option 1 and option 3 are selected. So let me select option 2 as well. So you need to press control along with the click to select multiple options. So as I select 4, you can see the value of select multiple is selected options, and I can unselect the options. Yeah, so if you're interested in using multi-select, then the method name is select multiple. And the last widget that I will explain is a combo box. So let me execute it. And as you can see over here, I can search for a value in case of a combo box. I selected orange. So if you have many different values for a drop down, then you can use a combo box. So in case of combo box, if you type the first character or first few character, it will show you which values from the drop down matches that particular string that you entered, and then you can select. So this can be useful when you have too many values in the drop down. So it's suggested to use a combo box instead of drop down. Alright, so that's it. We are done with today's tutorial. And yeah, so in today's tutorial, I explain you how you can work with widget events, how you can capture these events and execute particular callbacks. So if you have any doubts or any questions, then please feel free to let me know in the comment section. If you liked our video, then give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and see you next time.